So yeah, I decided maybe let's try the printer orientated that way. That way it's more compact, it stands neater, it's definitely more rigid this way, just purely on the fact that the verticals are touching the floor, or would be touching the floor, and obviously I've turned it sideways so they would be the feet. But yeah, I've tried it this way, with the idea of putting all the hardware, electronics, keeping everything down here. This will be the power supply that I'm using, so it's a bit chunky, but I'm running 24 volts. So yeah, the idea was to maybe put everything down here, but then I thought, well, it's hard to work on. Everything dirt and crap and rubbish or whatever is going to, unless I completely seal that off, which I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do that, because this is going to be a heated enclosure. Yeah, so I thought about, do I put it down here? And then I thought, no, it's not a good idea. I've been in jobs of maintenance roles, and yeah, climbing or trying to do stuff in small corners or under things when there's everything else in there is not always a good way. And yes, you can raise the platform up and get in there if you need be, I suppose, but yeah, there's also the issue of, if I put the hardware down here, I will have to extend the cables. The cables are not physically long enough to go from down here all the way up, form a decent loop onto the carriage, or to one head or two head, whatever I go for. So I'll have to extend the cables. It's, you know, and there's more than one, there's more than two or three, so that, you know, there's a lot of cables to extend. So by putting that down there, I have to extend cables. By putting that down there, I have to seal it off some way. I then have to ventilate it and protect it a bit better. And yeah, for all the benefits of putting it down there, the drawbacks are probably not as obvious as what I thought they would be. So, back to this. 1 second. Let's put it back this way. Putting it back this way serves a few purposes. It allows me to section off one whole side, and there's a reason for doing that, and there's a reason why I'm building this printer myself. I want to be able to print almost any material that there is available. I want to print nylon, ABS, all the new types of hard engineering plastics. I want an engineering 3D printer that makes stuff that is just for engineering, not for decoration, to make things for engineering. Say hello to Gracie. Hello, Gracie. I know. Not giving you attention, am I? So, yeah, back to this. It needs to be a printer that's, as I said before in the first video, it's going to be upgradable. So as I put more money into it, and as I learn more, and as new things come out, I will change this and make this fit and do whatever I want it to do. But back to the frame, by sectioning off one whole side, it allows me to put all the hardware in here, with a door possibly to get into it. It can be kept out of the way. This chamber will be heated, that will be insulated, and the temperature will be kept, hopefully, from all the electronics and the motors, and this can be kept at a regulated temperature, totally independent of the chamber. Now, how concerned some people are about that, probably not. Some people don't seem to worry that these things are sat in a heated chamber going backwards and forwards. I will note that they do lose a lot of power. When they get hot, they lose magnetism, they lose lifespan, the bearings expand. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the whole details of why you shouldn't really run them too hot, or shouldn't run anything too hot. It's not designed to be run hot, and you're going to want it to run hot. Some of this that we're going to print with, I'm sure I'm going to want to run hot. So I'm going to make sure I can run hot, but keep this cool. So back to the plan. It's changed. It's gone from Core XY to maybe Cartesian and different ways of using all of what I've got. And I've gone back to Core XY, but I've decided to put the frame like that. So the frame is now on its side, and I'm going to section this whole area off. Just totally, if I use the whole space, I use it. If I don't, I don't. It will allow for upgrades later. There's the other thing. I'm going to put, and by the way, for those that might not have noticed, these chocolate tubs, I suppose more for the PLA. I mean, I've just done it to keep the dust out, but I expect if you've got PLA and you want to keep it dry and whatever, these seem to fit perfect. Whether they fit perfect for every reel, probably not, but for me, all the crap out, all the dust out, hopefully keep most of the moisture out. I wouldn't say that's a airtight seal, but considering it was a food product, it shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, the reel will possibly sit, excuse me, in here. So maybe one, maybe two, I don't know. I'm thinking of 2 printer heads. It wasn't the original design. I was originally going to go with one, but I've got a bit of a plan. And as you will notice with my videos, they're totally unconventional, and the way I do things is a little bit unconventional. Anyway, right, these are